Hello and good evening, everyone. I am your morbidly curious and concerningly desensitized host, Chris Hollowburnt. Welcome to our show, Breaking Point, the show where I tell the nitty and horrifically gritty details regarding some of the most vile criminals in human history to our contestants, whilst at the same time making tasteless jokes, attempting to whittle their sanity down little by little. Will they make it to the other side victorious and mentally unwavered, or will they reach their breaking points? How are you guys today?
I get it now.
Yeah, you get it now. Yeah, right? Yeah, I know it's important transition. So, how are you guys tonight?
I'm good.
Just living that life.
Okay. Well, tonight's guest is, once again, Spoopy and Edgy's very own Howie, and the mild-mannered, lovely Sloth King, Alan. Alright. So, tonight's episode is going to be about Albert Fish. You guys know anything about him?
Got Fish's name. I like it. I probably won't shortly.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to take back my life of his name.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, especially, you might want to do it now, before we get any further. But,
like his last name, I'm gonna reel it back.
I'll
show myself out.
Bonus point! That's a bonus point.
On top. Leave on a good note.
That's a bonus point.
Done.
There's scores.
There's scores, and that is a bonus point.
Oh.
Yep. More initiative from you would be really nice.
Fuck you.
Wow! Alright, that's a negative.
How's that for initiating?
I'm kidding, I'm not going to give negatives. Not yet. Alright, keep that up, though. Alright, so the first question I have for you boys, it's not a question that involves the boards, but do you boys take pleasure in pain? Some, Hellraiser shit.
Like self-pain or inflicting pain?
Self-pain.
Self-pain?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I, drink a lot of soda and that, but I don't enjoy that.
Okay. That's
So no.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Self-destructive behavior is a no. What about you, Howie?
You know what kind of parties I've gone.
That's fair. I was waiting for you to say to the camera. You didn't have to. But yeah, the Hellraiser shit. You open the box. So anyway,
I'm done.
all right, he's coming out strong. All right, so Albert Fish, his real name was Hamilton Howard, was born in Washington D.C. on May 19th of 1870. His father was 43 years older than his mother. Okay, and he was 75 years old at the time of his son's birth.
That's ridiculous.
So he was 40 years older.
43 years older than the mom, and he was 75.
Was he really popular on the 1870s version of TikTok? Or,
I don't know.
Is he a Twitch streamer?
He must be. I don't know. I mean, you see, that's such a gap.
That is quite a gap.
And
there's something weird about that.
Oh yeah, you know how fucking. I mean, that's human history for you. You go far back, Japan, Europe, everywhere. It was yes, marry my 14-year-old daughter, please.
Speaking of Europe, fun fact: did you know mummies were not super duper rare until Europeans started eating them?
Excuse me, what? He's bringing facts on the show. I like this.
No, look it up.
Okay.
Europeans.
Okay.
For some reason, near their first discoveries when they first, went to Egypt and did remove them from the, let's not. They're colonizers. It was grave robbing. Anyway.
Yeah.
They started eating mummies. They would take the dust off their bodies and mix it in water and drink it.
They eat the meat like beef jerky?
No, it was like a supplement to them for some reason. I don't know.
How did they not die?
They did. It was early Europe.
Well,
it was Victorian age.
I'm just
Europe.
saying, from eating that, but I mean, they did that crazy shit.
Well, yeah, Jack the Ripper was doing a line of mummies before he killed someone.
Wow.
Europe was wild.
So this is what I'm talking about. This is why shit doesn't surprise me. This is humanity.
Are you pretending you knew that Europeans consumed mummies?
No, but I know now. But it doesn't surprise me.
It's just like Marilyn Manson, not Manson.
Monroe.
No.
How many Marilyns do we know?
Whatever the singer guy. Marilyn something.
Manson?
No. He did sing, but Yeah, he smoked bone. Maryland.
Oh, I've heard of this. I just don't know. I don't remember what his name is.
He's the musical artist.
Yeah.
For the beautiful people.
Yeah, that's Manson.
That's Manson?
That's Manson.
Yeah, he smoked human bones.
Yeah, well, apparently he took his ribs out to suck his own dick, but who knows?
Well, he also, has quite a few allegations of assault, so...
Yeah, that's
Which,
true.
when that came out, I was like...
Well, and isn't it like Kanye West is like the #1 person backing him up and making music and shit with him right now?
Kanye West is on his own thing right now.
I wouldn't want Kanye in my corner. But yeah, he was 75 years old at the time of his son's birth. And can you imagine what that does to your mental development, man? It's gotta be.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, that's not gonna be good for you. Yeah. So you can see why we're gonna have some problems in the near future.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's probably a reason he's the topic. So.
And it doesn't end there. But wait, there's more.
I'd be shockingly surprised if that was it. You're just like, all right.
Yeah, right. That's it.
Parents had a weird age gap. That's it.
Yeah, that's a wrap. Alright, so Fish was the youngest child and had 3 living siblings, Walter, Annie, and Edwin. He wished to be known as Albert after a dead sibling. He wanted to be named after his dead sibling.
So Albert wasn't his original?
No, remember, I literally said his real name was Hamilton Howard. Actually.
Okay.
I want to change my name if it was Hamilton. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. Like, what
yeah.
are you short of that? Ham?
Ham. Hey,
What's
Ham.
up, Ham? Like,
Ham.
you probably got called Ham Sandwich a lot.
Yeah. Or
I'm
Alexander.
Albert now.
Yeah, I'm Albert. Fish. Like, why fish? Okay. Anyway, straight out the gate, we're starting off pretty rough, boys. Alright. But you're going to notice this sort of thing is a reoccurring pattern with these people and, these kind of
And there's the
cases.
copyright strike.
Yeah, there it is right there. Turn your fucking phone off!
Dude,
I
Nintendo
did.
smelled that from Japan.
They're coming!
I did.
With a cease and desist. They send like a fox with one of those little notes, and it says, like, comes to my door, has a cease and desist. It has a Star Fox helmet and a little fucking scouter. That'd be crazy.
Just like someone shows up on your doorstep, like flips out a knife out of a Switch Joy-Con,
Yeah.
Switchblade, and he's like, "So, think you can just use our sound?"
Yeah, but then he'll try to stab me and he'll do this because it'll drift.
He'll just miss you.
Yeah. Okay, got your phone off?
Yeah.
You ready to take this seriously now? Okay, if I won't break him I'll break him this way. Alright. So there's a 75-year-old father, a 43-year age gap between parents. Call right now for this exclusive TV offer, and we will include a bonus, for a limited time only, of a history of mental illness!
You don't say.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, his family had a long history of mental illness. His uncle was diagnosed with mania, his brother was sent to the state mental institution, and his sister was diagnosed with mental affliction. His mother had vivid visual hallucinations. 3 other relatives were diagnosed with mental illness. You ever seen the movie Hereditary?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have? Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I also miss the days where mental health diagnosis were so easy as mania.
Mania. Yeah. Alright.
Mental
Dark
affliction.
ages.
Go get the big needle and stick it in his brain.
Yeah.
What's
Do
the love
cocaine
license?
about it.
Do cocaine about it. Several relatives died in mental asylums, and others were diagnosed but never treated. So, and I imagine they probably died in a mental asylum. Probably get you real good.
They're also very, very terrible conditions. I did an entire one of my classes to get my degree was like history of mental health. And those asylums, like, they had perpetual flooding issues, so like some of the levels were like half underwater, and they're like, those are your sleeping quarters.
The abuse of the staff.
Yeah, the abuse of the staff. Sometimes they just chain people to the wall and kind of forget about them. Yeah. So,
Prisons.
mental health treatment is never
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Most people just threw their, afflicted family members in there to die and forget about them.
Yeah, and they'd pay more for prisoners and supplies than they would for mental illness. But so no surprise here, but his father died when Albert was just 5 years old. His widowed mother didn't have the resources to care for Albert and his 3 siblings alone. And so she did what any not reasonable mother would do, and left them with a state orphanage. Especially in that time. Because orphanages weren't much better than, mental asylums.
No, they were not.
So now let's talk about the orphanage. So he described the orphanage as a place of brutality where he was exposed to regular beatings and sadistic acts of brutality. It was said that there he began to look forward to the abuse because it brought him pleasure.
Good God.
Yeah, 5 years old. Okay. When asked about the orphanage, Fish remarked, "I was there till I was nearly 9, and that's where I got started wrong. Where we were unmercifully whipped. I saw boys doing many things they should not have done." So, off to a great start. School caretakers also encouraged the children to hurt each other. Yeah. The orphanage provided no formal education for the children living there.
They had a foster care fight club.
Foster one. Yeah, conquering.
So someone in, like, I think it was New Jersey, got busted because they had, like, a daycare.
Oops.
And they were running, like, an infant fight club.
Oh my God! It's like fucking episode of South Park with crack baby basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, people are so awful. But yeah, there was no formal education for the children living there, so Fish had little mental or emotional escape from the abuse. There's also a lot of speculation that he was gangbang raped there by the older boys. Yeah. 5 to 9. Imagine that. I know it's terrible to say, but I mean, at that point, I don't know if I'd make it after that.
Oh no.
I don't know if I'd come back from that.
He's enjoying the beatings. This is, like, so much worse. I can't imagine where his mental state is at.
Yeah. Yeah, because
just given the information so far.
At such a young age!
Yeah.
That's something that, later gets developed in, 20s, 30s. A lot of people don't know that they're into that until way later. It's fucking wild. So anyway. So you're new on the show, but that means to grab your boards. Because we're going to be asking a question. So the question is, it's noted that he coined the name Alfred after his time in the orphanage. He was desperately trying to escape a nickname that was given to him there. What was that nickname? A, Golden Shower Lad. B, Ham and Eggs. Or C, Chicken Cherry Cola.
Cola was invented yet, so it's probably not C.
I think it was. I think 1929 is when they stopped, because I had to look it up in my old video. 1929 is when they stopped putting Coke in Coca-Cola. I had to actually look it up because I was wrong in my former video. Gotta make sure I call myself out. Otherwise, what good of a host am I? What are your answers? Okay, so we got A. Alright, Golden Shower Lad, and...
Oh, I forgot that's what A was, so I knew it wasn't C, and I forgot I knew B was Ham and Eggs, so I just guessed A.
Oh!
You think it's B?
Was it right, though?
Well, let's find
I don't
out.
think people are calling it golden showers yet.
Alright, so let's see if Alan was right. Oh. Just a moment. Enter my PIN?
Oh.
Yeah.
You had that queued up just for me.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, Alan. Okay, alright. Let's see if Jesse was right.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Alright, good job. So yes, he was trying to escape the nickname Ham and Eggs.
I knew it was something like that.
Why? Why is it? First off, okay, just gonna is that like a dick joke?
God, that's a long time ago. God
So
knows.
maybe?
I don't know. Ham and Eggs, it's like a really low tier, like, jab nickname. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't put much effort. It's almost more insulting that they didn't put effort into it.
Yeah, that's what and it's like, is it really that traumatizing? You know?
You know, when I was getting bullied in high school, I was like, at least get creative. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna throw the same thing at me, like,
Yeah.
Get some new material.
Oh, dude, I know. That's one thing I was like, so this is like a
What are you,
total
SNL?
Mm-hmm. Certainly not SNL in the 90s, that's for damn sure. Despite Fish going home to be with his mother 5 years later, by the time he left the orphanage, a lot of damage was irreparable. Before he was even 10 years old, Fish began to self-harm by beating himself with a nail-studded paddle and practice...
Damn.
I'm gonna fuck this up. Picurism, a psychosexual disorder where one can obtain pleasure from inserting sharp objects into his body.
Damn.
Damn is right. A nail stud. You ever take it that far?
No.
That's what I'm talking about. That's Hellraiser shit. Get out of here with your weak sauce. You know, how you doing over there, partner?
You don't have to listen to this if you don't want it.
I'll pop it in my earbuds if it gets too much. Just listen to some Barry Manilow or something.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I can't get enough of your love. Right? That's right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still just reeling it back there.
No, that's all good. Okay, so he spent time in and out of mental institutions throughout his life, with doctors classifying him as abnormal or having a psychopathic personality, as well as being a religious fanatic.
Abby Normal. What? Everybody loves Abby Normal.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
What? Young Frankenstein?
Oh, that's right. God, okay.
I was about to say Abby Normal sounds like a CW show.
It does sound like a CW show. Yeah. I am not related to that madman! Oh. Okay. So anyway, when Fish was only 12 years old, he engaged in a relationship with an older boy who introduced him to the sexual pleasures through the drinking of urine and the eating of human feces.
How did he not, get a disease from that?
He made it till he was old. Old! I don't know how.
Oh, boy.
Like, needles in the body, nail-studded paddles, drinking, eating shit, woo! Woo!
Yeah.
But yes, he would also regularly visit public baths, where he would spend hours in the dressing room watching boys undress. Yep. Older boys, man. Nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, woof. Because sometimes they can have, they're too impressionable to younger children, A young kid hanging out with the older crew too much, and they might be like, haha, look at the young kid does everything we say because he wants to be part of the crew, and then, there's a whole thing,
Speaking of personal experience.
Yeah. I've taken a dog at this. Okay. So, by 1890, at the age of 20, Fish arrived in New York City, and he said, at that point, he became a prostitute. And...
that seems like a kind of natural progression.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where he begins raping young boys, apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I mean...
I didn't think it would happen this fast. Okay. Okay, we might actually...
Please tell me this man gets, the gallows.
We're gonna continue now.
Oh, boy.
Alright. So, yes, and so it begins. In 1898, his mother arranged a marriage for him with Anna Mary Hoffman, not related with Dustin Hoffman, who was 9 years his junior. They had 6 children. Okay, so anyway, he was married, they had 6 children. It's don't you think she had to know, but once again, this is a pattern. Many times families, especially spouses, have their suspicions and they do nothing. It's aggravating. It's, take a chance, man. Turn that bitch ass in. Okay. Throughout 1898, Fish worked as a house painter. He said that he continued molesting children, mostly boys younger than the age of 6.
Right on.
Not an appropriate response.
Get out of here.
I'm
calling the police.
I know.
Start running.
Right on. He later recounted an incident in which a male lover took him to a waxworks museum where Fish was fascinated by a bisection of a penis. Okay. After that, he became obsessed with sexual mutilation.
Jesus.
Yep, here we go. I told you. Another pattern, this kind of thing you hear about. Bundy, he always tried to blame, to a degree, that the bound women he'd see on book covers, detected, took him to that lifestyle. That's one of his inspirations. The Kindly Killer and washed up dead body painting. It's the something of Medusa. They saw a naked washed up dead body, and apparently that, turned his crank. And, yeah. Arts is more than just an explosion, apparently. It makes you explode in your pants. And then other things explode, like bodies. I just...
Because my art
That
is an
That's not
explosion!
I think I missed it.
Oh, okay. Artisan explosions. Yeah, artisan explosions from Naruto. A guy said it all the time, but it's more than an explosion because it makes you explode in your pants. You come because
I don't know Naruto.
Well, that's so okay. It's fine. Okay. Around 1910, while he was working in Wilmington, Delaware, Fish met a 19-year-old man named Thomas Keaton. This is where things get even worse. He took Keaton to where he was staying, and the two began a sadomasochistic.
Sado, you say sadomasochistic.
And I say tomato, you say tomato. Alright. Okay, it is unclear whether or not Fish forced Keaton to do these things, but in his confession he implied that the man was intellectually disabled. So yeah, and get ready to hear that pop up a bit. It's quite a popular thing. You know, serial killers going after society's unwanted or inferior. It's just a sad truth that really speaks volumes about humanity and society as a whole.
You just go, we live in a society.
I did. Like literally Dahmer, Gacy. He picked on the gays, Dahmer picked on the blacks. Like literally they all had it and nobody cared for so long. That's how awful our society is. That's how they got away with it for so long. It's a good reminder. Learn from history. Don't try to shut it out. Learn from it. So, after only 10 days, Fish took Keaton to an old farmhouse where he began to torture him. Torture took place over 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks. How did he get away with this? Again, Fish eventually tied Keaton up and cut off half of his penis. And this is what he had to say about this. I shall never forget the scream or the look he gave me. Fish later recalled he originally intended to kill Keaton, cut up his body, take it home, but he feared the hot weather would draw attention to him. But he got away with this for 2 weeks? And that's where you stop? 2 weeks of somebody in the hot...
Man, that's it. You know what? It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Right?
I'm glad when everyone makes terrible jokes with me. Okay, so... Oh, that's going to be the wrong one. Okay, this is really excessive and I can't stop it. Hold on. Okay. If I press it again, it'll just play again. So I guess it's going to bump a little bit. Are you... I'm refreshing the page.
Yeah!
I'm refreshing the page. Pick it up. Put the cat back on, you filthy fucking animal.
Put the cat back.
God. Okay. So what did he do next to Keaton? A. He finished the job by slitting Keaton's throat and buried the body only 20 feet away from the crime scene. B. He got his sleeping bag, set up a tent, got a campfire ready, and had a good old Donner Party feast, since he'd already been there for 2 weeks. Or C. He poured peroxide over the wound, wrapped in a Vaseline-covered handkerchief, left a $10 bill, kissed Keaton goodbye, and then left.
I just left.
Starting not to be true.
Show me your answer.
A little clip art on there.
Yeah. You first.
Let me go ahead, and what do you got?
See.
Hey!
See, he's just crazy enough.
Are their answers right?
Yes, it is.
Alright. By 1917, Fish was having difficulty concealing the symptoms of severe mental illness, leading his wife to leave him for another man. And yet she didn't think to mention his mental illness and potentially how much of a danger he was. Lovely. Even though she left, she had nothing to lose.
Yeah, I just left.
Fish's self-harm grew thereafter, from pressing more and more needles into his groin to... You thought you were free. You thought you were safe. But you were not. Pick up your boards again. What else did he do to himself? A. He stuffed wool covered in lighter fluid into his anus and set it on fire. B.
Go ahead.
I'm laughing because you're laughing now. Woo! Okay. B. You tried to beat Dark Souls on New Game Plus with the controller wild to the needles lodged in his penis and ass muscles. Or C. He shoved glass bottles up his ass and later ate the feces riddled with glass shards like some sort of Mexican candy. Alright, what do we got? I can't even write a fucking straight A anymore. A, and...
I'm gonna go C. I don't think A would be, like, survivable. So, and B, Dark Souls was not invented yet, obviously. So it's gotta be C.
Yes, you would think so. Yeah.
It was in development. This guy made Blight Town.
Yeah, this guy. Oh,
God.
yeah. Alright, so, was Howie's answer correct?
That was the tall man!
Yes, it was. Was Alan correct?
Yes, it is.
Alright.
That's crazy.
Yeah. When I read that, I was...
Wouldn't that sodomize your asshole so you couldn't shit?
You think it would, like, third-degree burns up in there or some shit, you know? Like, how would you... And how would you deal with that? Like, wouldn't it, like, get infected?
Yeah.
How do you deal with a wound that is deep in your ass? Especially back then. How did he make it as long as he did?
That's insane.
I don't get
I'm
it.
gonna stop myself from thinking about the complications of that because
We could sit here for hours debating how exactly it would work. Yes, the answer is A. He is the OG king of pain and the Pain Olympics. My God. So anyway, he began having auditory hallucinations as well. At one point, he recalled wrapping himself in carpet on the instructions of John the Apostle. Okay, so you can kind of see where this is going.
Right on.
Albert, I need you to wrap yourself in that motherfucking carpet. The Lord has asked me to tell you to wrap yourself in the carpet.
shag carpet specifically, my child.
Shag. From the sevens. But yes, the next time you chop somebody's head off, roll them in carpet, set it on fire, you're going to make damn sure that they're dead. It's from his lines anyway. It's like my favorite fucking thing. Okay. Fish began teaching his own children strange and odd sadomasochistic games. I think got it there. We're close at least. Before developing an obsession with cannibalism. It just keeps going. It doesn't stop. It just...
Yep.
As a precursor to consuming human flesh, he began to eat raw meat. Meals he often invited his children to share.
How did he survive all this shit?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
You know, it's once he got the taste. It's like that episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Danny DeVito says he feeds fucking Dee and Charlie human meat because they keep eating all this steak. And they find out later it's just a raccoon, but the whole episode they think they're going crazy and they gotta eat people because now that they've had the taste, they can't stop.
Oh my god.
Oh! Such a funny one. Alright, so I'm gonna take a break really quick here. So, we'll start, and I guess I'm gonna start doing this. Howie, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 for your breaking point?
I'm at a 2 or a 3, man. I'm sorry.
Alright, and Alan.
Hovering around a hard 7.
Hearts. Okay, alright. You got this, man. I won't ask you to come again for like the next 2 months, I swear. I promise. We'll give you some time to heal. Because this is bad.
I'll just sleep it off.
Yeah, and like I said when he sat down in this room, I only laugh at this shit because if I don't laugh, I cry or get very angry. I don't think I'd be able to make it if I actually legitimately put this and thought about it like a rational human being. It would just make me angry and sad. And, yeah, end up being a, you know, on a what's that guy's name? What's that guy's show? Murray. End up on the Murray show. Murray. We don't want that.
Is he still going?
What, Murray?
Alright.
He's dead!
Oh shit.
You think the Joker, when he shoots him at the end, remember?
Oh!
You get what you fucking
I
deserve!
thought you were talking about a talk show.
No. But Conan's still alive somehow. Alright, anyway.
So is Jimmy Kimmel.
So is Jimmy Kimmel. But what's his name? Larry King's gone, and who's the other one that
No,
blew
Larry
flow?
King's back.
He's alive?
Oh, no. I was
thought he
thinking
died.
of the one with the big chin.
What is his
Jay
name?
Leno?
Yeah.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno's
I
back.
sometimes do
No,
Jay Leno.
No, he's back from the dead. No, they seriously ran out of late night content, so they just like revived him.
Yeah, and he's probably like, I guess I got nothing better to do. But what's the one that does Will It Float? Because that's actually funny as
David
fuck.
Letterman.
David Letterman. That's
Oh,
funny.
Dave.
This is what we're doing with our budget on national television?
This is really what's on TV, folks.
Yeah. Shut the what? The what? The what?
Just the cacophony and burping to start the second part. Just
That is
Yeah.
the epitome of total insanity.
Oh,
you
he's
just shoving
still-
shit up your ass and then lighting it on fire.
He's still on about that.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Wile E. Coyote, like Alan says, make Wile E. Coyote run faster.
Jesus.
You know, Looney Tunes shit. Oh, it's so funny. I don't know at what point he reached his breaking point. Very early on. Alright. So, he scored advertisements in local papers put out by families looking for someone to perform housework. Or by young men looking for work themselves. I'm so sorry, Alan. The direction that this is where things get just the absolute worst. Okay, it was through one of these advertisements that he found a young Grace Budd. Here's where things get really rough. Hard to chew on, if you will. Edward Budd was looking for work on a farm in the country. That's why he put out the ad Fish encountered. Fish originally planned on hiring Edward and bringing him to his country house to torture him. But the plans changed. Thus, under the false name Frank Howard, still his real last name, whatever, Fish called on the Budds family in their Manhattan home. He claimed to have some farm work upstate that needed doing. And he was also looking for some help around the house. Was Edward interested? Okay. Edward was inclined to take the job from the unremarkable gray-faced gentleman. But suddenly Fish's interest shifted. While Edward was mulling over his offer, Fish noticed a young girl standing behind her parents. 10-year-old Grace. He's bracing himself.
Yep.
Yep. While discussing his fictitious farm and the imaginary work Edward would undertake, Fish came up with a strategy to get Grace alone. How did he manage this? I just, and that's funny I say that because
Dateline wasn't on the air yet.
Dayline wasn't on the air yet, and it's a recurring pattern. There's these parents, man. Oh, God. When you see the episode that I finished, the parents in these situations sometimes, oh my God. Thank you! Lag. All the lag in the world. Alright, grab your boards, boys. So how did he manage this? How did he get 10-year-old Grace all alone? A. He stayed as long as he could, learning the layout of the house, just to come back in the middle of the night, cut the power, and steal her from the bedroom by gaining access through her window. B. He told him he wanted to take her to his niece's birthday party later that day. Or C. He hired a group of local thugs to take her a week later on her walk home from school. Alright, see their answers. Okay. Alan has put A. It's a little more beautiful and fluent than his last one. And Jesse put B with sunshine around it. Why would you do that? When... Okay, let's see if Jesse is right. Is his answer right?
Yes, it is.
Well,
Yep.
Yep.
They just met him. And how, I wonder exactly how insane he was. Was he able to just keep it down really well? My God.
He must have been charming as fuck.
And plus they must have been desperate for work. But I mean, I
I think like the scars on his body would be like, at least cause some concern.
Probably had them all
would
covered
think
up.
so. Yeah, I mean, because I don't think there was any on his face or hands. All his groin and his ass. But yeah, never, ever let someone you just met take your kid anywhere. I feel like that is standard. But yeah, the investigation into Grace's disappearance went on for 6 years before detectives received a substantial break in the case. On November 11th, 1934, Budd received an anonymous letter giving grotesque details of the murder and cannibalism of her daughter. I just so happen to have the letter right here. Shall I read it?
I wish that was Budweiser. Yeah. Go for it, man.
Okay. My dear Mrs. Budd, in 1894, a friend of mine shipped as a deckhand on the steamer Tacoma, Cleveland steamer. Captain John Davis They sailed from San Francisco to Hong Kong, China. On arriving there, he and 2 others went ashore and got drunk. When they returned, the boat was gone. At that time, there was a famine in China. Meat of any kind was from $1 to $3 a pound. God damn. It's expensive for back then. Okay, so great suffering among the very poor, that all the children under 12 were sold to the butchers to be cut up and sold for food in order to keep others from starving. So he's obviously literate. I think that he's definitely coherent, because that is insanely and he's probably not lying.
Or he's just making shit up.
I mean, as far as I know, I think that's legit, but I'll double check on that. A boy or girl under 14 was not safe in the street. You could go in any shop and ask for steak, chops, or stew meat. Part of the naked body of a boy or girl would be brought out, and just what you wanted was cut from it. A boy or girl's behind, which is the sweetest part of the body, and sold as veal cutlets, bought at the highest price. John stayed there so long he acquired a taste for human flesh. There it is! The taste. Was returned to New York, he stole 2 boys, one 7, one 11. Took them to his home, stripped them naked, and tied them in a closet, then burned everything they had on. Several times every day and night he spanked them, tortured them, to make their meat good and tender. First, he killed the 11-year-old boy because he had the fattest ass. It's not a good time to have a fat ass. P-H-A-T ass. Yeah. Okay. And of course, the most meat on it. Every part of his body was cooked and eaten except the head, bones, and guts. He was roasted in the oven, all of his ass, in parentheses, boiled, fried, stewed. The little boy was next, went the same way. At that time I was living at 1409 East 100th Street, rear, right side, so he gives away his address. Clown. He told me so often how good human flesh was, I made up my mind to taste it. On Sunday, June the 3rd of 1928, I called on you at 406 West 15.
Well, hold on. This was another serial killer?
Another guy. I mean, I don't know if they ever caught him, but yeah. I mean, he did, yeah. So, I guess he's, got very similar friends with common interests. So, at 406 West 15th Street, bought you a pot of cheese and strawberries. We had lunch. Grace sat on my lap and kissed me.
What?
Yep. I made up my mind to eat her on the pretense of taking her to a party. You said yes, she could go. I took her to an empty house in Westchester I had already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She would pick wildflowers. I went upstairs and stripped off all my clothes. I knew if I did not, I would get her blood on them. When all was ready, I went to the window and called her. Then I hid in a closet until she was in the room. When she saw me all naked, she began to cry and tried to run down the stairs. I grabbed her, and she said she would tell her mama. First I stripped her naked. How she did kick, bite, and scratch. I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to my rooms, cook it, and eat it. How sweet and tender her little ass was roasted in the oven. It took me 9 days to eat her entire body. Here's where it just, at this point, he could have just left the sound. But he could have just not done, yeah. I did not fuck her, though. I could have, if I wished. She died a virgin.
Well, then.
Well.
At least he didn't rape her.
That just brings us back. What's worse? Remember our conversation last time?
God.
What's worse?
Hello, darkness,
I don't know. It's awful. Both are awful. I'm not gonna ever pick a side on
come
it.
to talk with you again.
That was it's okay.
I don't listen to true crime podcasts because this
Right?
Yeah.
is fucking gross.
Isn't that just absolutely maddening? The detail! Did anyone ask for that? I mean, like, to send that to the parents.
He might have been so crazy that this stuff was so normal to him that, he, maybe he did it and then later on he started feeling a little bit bad about it in some way, and he thought, well, what can I do to make this better? Oh, I'll just send a letter and tell the person how much I enjoyed their daughter.
Yeah, some people are like that. He's socially deaf. He would have to be. To
Either
even
that
make
or
it
he's
this far.
just beyond evil.
Yeah, then that's also a possibility.
He was caught shortly after the end.
We're getting close. Yes, your relief is coming soon because the letter was a huge giveaway. So the letter, which had clearly been intended to cause panic within the Butt home, hastened Albert Fish's downfall. So they think it caused, he's going for panic, which probably gets off on it. That's another thing criminals often get off on
Just a couple of people who
crimes.
totally got off,
Try to keep
bro.
trophies, etc. Go back to the scene. And yeah. The paper he had written the letter on happened to be a piece of stationery from the New York Private Chauffeurs Benevolent Association. Police inquired with the company and found that a paper had been left behind by a janitor from the company at a rooming house he'd been staying at. At the same rooming house, a man named Albert Fish was renting a place. Upon learning that Fish bore a strong resemblance to Frank Howard, Grace's Bud's kidnapper, the police set up an interview. To their surprise, Fish confessed in an instant, practically tripping over himself to reveal the precise details of what he'd done to Grace Budd, so probably excited to talk further about it with somebody, as well as dozens of other children. But in the end, only 3 children, including Grace, could be concretely proven to be his victims. According to the Crime Museum, Albert Fish is believed to be responsible for the murder of a 4-year-old boy. I laughed because I'm thinking about the end and what I'm going to do to Alan that he has no idea about. You know. Anyway, 4-year-old boy named Billy Gaffney. Billy had disappeared while playing with a neighbor in Brooklyn on February 11, 1927. No.
We said what?
I'm getting the giggles because
You're evil.
No, it's not. I'm not laughing at this. I'm just laughing for Alan.
That's why you're evil.
No.
Have you no empathy over here?
I do. I lose my mind in this shit, but I knew. Okay.
Sadist.
I can't help it. Alright, so anyway. Billy disappeared while playing with a neighbor in Brooklyn on February 11th, 1927. Oh no, it's school again. When I started laughing reading in school, I couldn't stop.
Oh, I know how that is.
Oh, and everyone just kept laughing and made it worse. People make faces at me. That's evil. This is far more evil than anything. Yeah. That child would later tell the police that the boogeyman took him. And the 3-year-old boy described this boogeyman as a slender, elderly man with gray hair and a gray mustache. At first, cops didn't take the child seriously. Probably a thing you should do. Yeah, probably a thing you should do. But when they searched all over the neighborhood with no clues, they finally realized he had been abducted. Should have came to that conclusion after the child said so. He was never seen again. But after Fish's arrest, a motorman on a Brooklyn trolley line came forward to identify him as a nervous old man he saw on the same day Billy disappeared. Phone it in. Once again, phone it in. Okay, apparently the old man was trying to quiet the little boy sitting next to him on the trolley who was crying for his mother. Phone it in! God.
I didn't have phones.
Don't go to the police station. I saw the man on this trolley going eastbound. Okay. The man then dragged the little boy off the trolley. If a kid is crying for their mom, I'm gonna deck. You know what I mean? You can't. Ugh. We're almost there, Alan. What did they find on him after his arrest? A. 30 needles lodged in his groin, stomach, and the area around the scrotum. B. A copy of Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Or C. A severed scrotum fashioned into a coin purse. Alright. Show me your boards.
Sorry about me.
Oh, hey. Sorry, my bad. Alright. Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn. I'm Huckleberry Finn. And what do you have?
Well, with A, the needles.
What?
A for aardvark and A for Advil.
I like the doodles, but couldn't you draw the needles or something relevant instead of just things that start with A?
Needles don't start with A.
I was going to give you a bonus point. But the correct answer...
Or not aardvark, armadillo, aardvark. Never mind. Go ahead.
Let's do it this way. Was Howie correct? Was his answer correct?
Yes, it is.
Really? He's had that going on down there.
Yep, just chilling. He had 30 needles lodged in his groin, stomach, and the area.
Jesus.
How did he survive? How did he live? Imagine just walking, moving. Was it like every time he walked, ooh, boner? Because he liked it. What? I can't fathom.
I'm growing physically ill with this man.
We're almost there, I promise. Fish admitted to the kidnapping and murdering of Billy in sickening detail. Sorry, I have that detail. I took tools, a good heavy cat of nine tails, homemade, short handle, cut one of my belts in half, slit the halves in a 6 strip about 8 inches long. I whipped his bare behind till the blood ran from his legs. I cut off his ears, nose, slit his mouth from ear to ear, made him joker-fied. Gorged out his eyes. He was dead then. I stuck the knife in his belly and held my mouth to his body and drank his blood.
That was another letter or like a confession?
That was like, yeah, after he got caught, that was one of the things he was giving detail, which I don't, if I was the guy listening to this, how would you hold it together not to strangle the fuck out of this guy? I could never have that job.
Just pull his sidearm.
No, it's gotta be slower than that. It's gotta be slower than that. Guns are too quick. Especially for someone like that. Oh.
He got the chair?
He did get the chair. Yep. I will tell you that much, he did get the chair. Okay. In 1924, a young boy named Francis McDonald vanished while playing with his brother and a group of friends on Staten Island. His body was found in the woods shortly thereafter. He had been strangled by his own suspenders. Shortly before Albert Fish was put to death, he confessed to being the one who lured Francis into the woods, later assaulting and strangling him. He admitted that he was ready to dismember the boy, but he thought he heard someone approaching and fled the scene. The trial of Albert Fish began on March 11th, 1935, and demonstrated quite clearly that the man was insane. As expected, his defense pleaded innocence by reason of insanity. What do you expect?
Well, I would say that's accurate, honestly.
Yes.
I don't think he was in his right mind.
No. He was certainly not.
He did not understand what he was doing.
But, despite numerous psychiatrists involved in the trial supporting the insanity plea, however, the jury found Fish sane enough to be found guilty. The trial took 10 days and ended with a verdict that saw Fish executed by electrocution the following year. Get fucked, man. You know, absolutely.
I honestly think the chair might have done too good.
Right, you know, it sucks about his life, man. You know, like there's some shred of humanity in everyone, you know, but he knew what he was doing wrong.
I don't know.
I think he knew he was doing wrong because, like you specifically said, he heard someone approaching, so he fled.
Yeah, right. And
So he knew it was against the law.
Well, and yeah, he knew what he was doing was also frowned upon because he was so sneaky about everything he did. Like Alan was about to, you know.
Yeah.
Like he literally was trying to avoid.
If he was trying to conceal it,
That's
in my mind,
yeah.
let's be kind of like cues me into like he knew what he was doing was bad.
Because the sanity plea only works if there's no evidence that you were aware and that you know what you're doing is wrong and fleeing the scene, trying to avoid people. Like if you just openly went up and just stabbed somebody on the street, like that's a pretty fucking insane thing to do.
That's true.
You know, because you're doing it in broad day. You know.
And your like excuse was like, you know.
I thought I saw a mosquito.
I saw a butterfly crawl into his mouth. And
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't human.
I had to stab him before it took over his body. That's insane.
Which is also the plot of the Peacemaker show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, the boards. After his capture, Fish told doctors that he believed what? A, God had ordered him to torment and castrate little boys. God had ordered him to suit up and join the war effort. C, God had ordered him to devour the flesh of the innocent as penance.
I'm gonna go with C as well.
Okay, so you put C. Okay,
Religious
C.
route.
All right, well, they're all religious because God had ordered, you know.
Sure.
Okay, but let's see if either of you were right. Were their answers right?
It's not.
No, it's not.
All right. No, it was A. God had ordered him to torment and castrate little boys.
Okay.
What a holy mission. That's crazy. Before his execution on January 16th, 1936, Albert Fish's attorney, Jack Dempsey, refused to share his client's notes. It only took one glance at them and determined that what Fish had described was too macabre for public consumption. Yeah. And he said this, I will never show it to anyone. It was the most filthy string of obscenities that I have ever read. Wowza. So here's some of the nicknames that Albert Fish received. He was known as the Gray Man, the Werewolf of Wisteria, probably saying that wrong. The Brooklyn Vampire, the Moon Maniac, and the Boogeyman. Okay, so first and foremost, why the fuck was he the Moon Maniac? Nothing he did had anything to do with the moon. Like none of his crimes were ever committed on like full moons only. That's a Moon Maniac. Why? What?
Who knows?
All right.
Maybe Moon had something different back then.
I did have a part here where I was going to ask you to come up with good scary names, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I can see that someone is at their wits' end. All right. So yes, I have one last thing for you before I announce the winner. Alan gets a bonus point for dealing with this shit. 2. He's so casual about it. He gets the prize, though.
Fine.
Alright. So before you go...
I was at a 9. I was one obscene thing from, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, well, hopefully this doesn't do it, then. Jesse, where are you at right now? Howie, where are you at?
3.
3?
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. It's okay. All right. Well, we're going to have a very special guest come on our show and perform a short ditty for both of you. So if you could put your hands together for the letter that was written to Grace Bud's parents.
I'm not clapping for that.
Put your hands together.
I'll give it a you can't see me.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take anything on this show because I am soulless and a loser. All right.
I think that's a name of a Weezer album, actually.
Hey boys, you want to get down with the old fish, huh? I see you over there. Me. Come on, boys. Let loose. Let me show you what I can do. My crime's got no correlation to the moon. So let's stick with the gray man while I'm bringing the heat with a snazzy tune. Just how I like my meat, my mental condition is extremely rare. I just don't know how my asshole didn't tear. I've got something I wanna say. Right a little, it's been eating at me night and day. Right a little, let me just give it all away. Right a little, I've waited 6 years for this day. Right a little, when you wanna get something off your chest. Right a little, when you just wanna confess. Right a little, when the meal you just ate lifts you up. Right a little, and it takes you to the moon. Right a little. See? That correlates to the moon. It's not very good, though. Take care, boys. I'm off to tell God I completed his mission. Albert Fish reported for duty.
I'll give him the finger on the way out. That's about all he deserves.
That was fucking face right now.
That man did not go up after the electric chair.
No.
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 No, he did not.
That was a failure. As far as God, it's like God saw that. It's like, no, that's not what I meant to happen.
No.
It was like America's Got Talent. He hit the buzzer, just fell right down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweep that under the rug.
I've never wanted to beat the hell out of a hand puppet before.
Yeah.
So that's a first.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. I got to declare the winner. Well, after consulting with the demons that infest my body and my mind, today's winner is none other than our Sloth King, mild-mannered, kindly, sweet, amazing Alan.
I don't feel like a winner.
He is. Yes. And but that's okay. You don't want to win because the prize.
Yeah, I don't want the prize.
Is I'll get the one. I'll give you a picture of Albert Fish, and you get the hand puppet.
I didn't take it last. I threw it in his face.
It's got the real letter as the tongue. I don't know if you saw that, but I actually printed off the letter.
Good God, what is wrong with you?
This is how I cope with trauma. Are you actually going to take it?
Do you care what happens to this?
Maybe a little.
And you probably better keep it.
Yeah, then you better hold on.
Okay.
It's gonna fucking burn it.
Yeah, I do have a lighter in my car.
Oh, okay.
I was going to set that ablaze, like that man's soul currently is.
That's fair. Yeah, you're not wrong. I will, don't worry, because at the end of the first season, I'm going to gather up all the puppets and we'll set them on fire together. How's that sound? I guess like a good grand old fuck you to these douchebags. I feel for him because, that childhood was horrible. I wouldn't come back from that either. I don't think anyone could come out of that unscathed. But that doesn't excuse his bullshit either, because he was well aware it was wrong. He knew. He wasn't insane.
What a strange case.
Yeah, what a strange case is correct. But before you leave, after getting tying your shoe, one thing we do on the show is we do have a moment of silence for the victims. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take that. Okay. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It may be a while before we have our special guest, Alan, again. But next episode, just tune in and it'll be a surprise. Or maybe that's because I haven't decided which one to do yet, and I don't have it done. Thank you, and good night.
You dye your hair.
I did. Does it look orangey? It's only like orange on the top.
It looks very like sunset orange. It's nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like burgundy almost.
Oh, Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Ron Burgundy?